I purposely wake myself up a few times every night anyway. I have it's called a Fitbit. I don't know if they've got them there, but the little bracelets and it's got a silent alarm that'll vibrate to wake me up.
Oh, that's cool. I might have to look at that.
And that
That's
way I
it.
don't have to bother my wife.
Yeah.
So I have it set to wake me up a couple of times at night. It wakes me up at 1 in the morning and then about 2:30 in the morning, and I get up and
Yeah.
I go write down my dreams and I come back and I try to project. But I found that breaking up my sleep cycle tends to help.
Yeah. I think as well, sleeping next to a partner, as much as we love them and everything, that does also have its downsides because, I
Yeah.
mean, my missus, she's got restless leg syndrome, so she's like
Yeah.
fidgeting all night, and I'm like, I just want to go to a different planet.
Did
But
you see
yeah,
the video on did you see the video on how I resolved that issue?
no, but I will watch that. Definitely.
So I had the same problem. When I was first starting out, my wife would toss and turn, and I'd be getting into these deep states, and I was almost to this void state, and the vibrations would kick in, and then my wife would roll over or snore or something, and it used to just drive me crazy, and she used to feel so bad because
Yeah.
she's just sleeping, and here I am trying to do something instead of sleeping, and she's ruining my attempts unintentionally. So we ended up buying two separate beds. We traded in
Yeah.
our bed for two twins. We put them right next to each other with like maybe a half-inch gap between them, and she can move
Yeah.
around all night long, and I never feel it. We've got different blankets. And,
Do you know that's interesting because me and my fiance we struggle to sleep together because of the fidgeting and stuff. And we've actually spoke about getting separate beds. And at first I was thinking, yeah, but that's not what people do in relationships. And then I'm thinking, no, actually, no, that's a good idea. So,
oh,
I think
it's the
you've
best thing we've done.
the scales on that one for me, I think. So
Yeah, hands down, best thing I've done to help me be more successful. But you're right. People don't expect that kind of thing. And we told her mom what we were doing, my wife's mom, and she's like, "Are you guys okay?" We're
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, we're
It's
fine.
because well, that's just the indoctrination, isn't it? You know, people think that you have to sleep in the same bed because that's how people are brought up to believe. I mean, you can
Right.
still love someone and sleep in a separate room if you wanted to, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, they just text each other at middle at night, feeling horny right now. Come into my room. So,
Your place or mine.
your place or mine? Yeah, that's good. I'll order a takeaway. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just at the minute, I'm just trying to find the best methods that work for me, you know, because I'm really interested. I'm a bit of an artist as well, so I'm really interested in i some of the things that you see. If I was to if I was to paint or draw out or something, it's just fantastic. I mean, like, I've got this image in my mind of the scarecrow guy laid on the floor,
Mhm.
holding onto my leg, looking at me, this creepy face, and you can see the silhouette of me, sort of thing. And then in the background, the kitchen, there's no back wall to the kitchen. It's just completely open. And then there's stars and planets and everything all on the other side, you know. And I'm just thinking, like, some, if you're an artist or anything like that, this kind of stuff, it could significantly increase the chances of having an extremely good career because anything like from filmmaking or music make anything like that. And I always think that this stuff should be widespread. People should be taught this as a child because imagine how amazing the human race would be if we could all astral project
Oh
because
yeah.
we spend all this life asleep and unaware, right? When if you could do this every night, you know, Einstein didn't like the idea of sleeping, right? He thought it was a waste of time. Or was it one of the great scientists anyway? And I always thought, yeah, you know, it's a bit of a shit why we sleep. You know, we waste all this life. But the reality of it is it's not the case. We're actually naturally able to have lucid dreams and astral project, and we could accomplish just as much inside that reality as we could in this reality, and the two could work hand in hand. And that's my take on it, really. And you know, rather
Yeah,
than
whether you
just
believe it's a real experience or not, you can take advantage of it, right?
yeah, definitely. I mean, like it's like a training program essentially. If you know, at the very least, you know, so many things you can achieve. I mean, like oh, if you're a writer or something like that. I mean, I could write a novel from. I've only had like a few experiences, and I personally have the confidence now that I think I could actually write a full novel that would be quite, you know, that might even sell. Do you know, like that'd be
Right?
that people would read and think, wow, you know, that's cool because the imagination that you can bring from that is just beyond this world of quite literally, I should imagine. So it's amazing. But
Yeah, part of the challenge is getting the kids interested in it.
yeah,
We both got kids, and I've talked to my kids about it, and I'm like, here, why don't you try this? And, giving them ideas and trying to teach them how to project or lucid dream or anything.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem is just the lack of commitment. Both of them are like, oh, that would be awesome. I would love to fly around at night, but then they don't want to put in any effort to actually
Yeah, there's a lot of
practice.
discipline that goes into it. I mean, the
It is.
Egyptians knew all about it, didn't they? I think personally that, the pyramids and things. I think there's a lot more to history than we're taught. I think that our ancestors were actually smarter than us in a lot of ways. But we're too busy trying to decipher everything and to discover and get research things smaller and smaller and smaller, and everybody's scurrying around, and and people are always trying to analyze what's outside, and nobody ever tries to see what's on the inside.
Hmm.
And that is the most important thing, because I think that's where true knowledge and understanding comes from. For me, I mean, I used to be an unlikable person. I had a bit of a social disposition and all that kind of stuff. And I personally believe that astral projection and this kind of understanding has, improved me in social situations, has made me a more understanding, likable person. I mean, I still have my problems like everybody else does, but it's a path that we're on right now, isn't it? So for me, I mean, I do magic. I'm a magician. I do like wedding magic and things like that.
Oh,
So
cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So like weddings, corporate events, all that kind of thing. And having astral projections for me, it feels like it's increased my confidence, because I don't go in there feeling singled out, like I'm separate to everyone else. I feel like everyone else is part of my experience, just the
Yep.
same as I feel like everything's part of my experience in the astral realm.
Right.
It's like a deeper understanding of consciousness and of the facets of the ego and all that kind of thing. So, and even in the kind of things I perform, when you have to perform effects for people, there's a certain amount of patter that goes into it. And there's certain amounts of patter that can make things interesting or not interesting. And by using things that have been inspired from these projections, I've found that people just sit there and listen in awe, because you're explaining things that spark up their imaginations. It's difficult to explain in a way, but it's
No, that's
amazing.
cool. It
Mm.
feels like you are light years beyond where I am. I'm still in the
I'm not. I'm not. I don't think I am, and I'll tell you
Well,
for why. I'll tell you for why I'm not, because most of my experiences have happened naturally. Um, I've only done like a short amount of reading. You've done a lot more research. I mean, you even went to the Monroe Institute. You've done so much more research than me, so you understand more about it. I'm sort of hitting a bit of a dead end with it, which is why I'm interested in speaking to people like yourself to try and decipher what it is that's going off, and whether other people are having the same kinds of like experiences, with the vibrations, or what they see when they're out there, and things like that. But
I
for
guess
me,
what's cool about your experiences is that you've tried to figure out how you can make them benefit your waking life, right? And
well, yeah, only recently, I should imagine. It's mainly the memory of what's happened, and I kind of refer back to it because it's so clear in my mind.
hmm
It's kind of trying to explain the astral experiences to anyone is relatively difficult, though, isn't it? Because it's like you can only say things in so many words. I mean, you couldn't even put it into a movie or a picture, because you have to be there really to experience it. So
yeah, it's more than just visual. It's very much a feeling-based
oh
experience.
yeah, definitely.